Good night, guys. Welcome to Sunday Prep. If you guys are new to the prep, we're gonna go first to the assets, the futures, and then we're gonna go through the members picks, and I'm gonna go and add some tickers to that list. Now, if you are watching this on YouTube, make sure to subscribe to the channel and to give a thumbs up on the like button. Now, on the S&P, we have a little gap up, and we are trading inside this very important pivot zone, which is 3064.51, 3071.50. Now, if we can't hold this zone as support, I'll be expecting at some time in the week to test this 3049 pivot right here. And if we can't break and hold, we're looking to test 3078, and ultimately the target will be 3084, 3087. So right now it's in between of the zones. So for me, there is a no trade. You can use this Friday's pivot as a guidance if you wanted to take a trade. So if you want to go long, make sure to have your stop right below it. And if you want to short it, make sure that this pivot breaks under. Now we're looking good. It looks so far. Still didn't break the high day, but just use this as a reference if you want to take a trade. And then let's see if we can get this 3071 test if you're looking for a long on this. So far it's trying to hold. I'm not yet a big fan. I prefer that it actually breaks this high. But if you took at a pivot, then it's a very low risk and a very high reward. So you're good to go there. Let's check the NQs. Also, I'm testing this new headset. If you think the sound is a little bit better than our previous Sunday preps, please let me know. Now let's see. So if you don't know, the NQ is traded through the Qs. Let me just check the 5-year. We're at all-time highs. Now let's go back. So I am expecting a little bit of resistance at around where it is right now, actually. Right here. Right there. So 80, 84. We have here, can set this as a zone. This will be our key resistance. Right there. 81, 84, 90, 81, 92, 83. Our key support, you can set it to be right here on this previous close line and previous high. And I think that's good, guys. So if we lose this, we need to hold a back test to this pivot. It is a very important pivot, the 81, 49, 83. Remember that if we're still on the day trading above our yellow pivot, then we're still bullish for the day. We need to break under and stay under for the sentiment to change. We're also trading above the pivot week, which is 81.17, which means for us that we are still bullish on the week until we break under. It doesn't mean that you can't have a pullback to there. It just means that if it gets there and hold, we're still looking for another bullish move. Okay, so far it looks like it's rejecting. If we break above this, what we are looking at, we want to see the 8214, 8222 test. Right now, if you ask anybody, you can say this is an overextended chart. It doesn't mean it has to stop there. So just be careful, trade with the levels. So would you short over here? Well, if you want to short, this will be the best spot to do it. Because if it breaks above it, what are you going to do? You're going to cut. So your loss is going to be minimum, while your reward could be down here. So that's how you have to trade. You have to think about what is your best risk to reward. Like, would you take something in between right here? Maybe. If it shows the VWAP, then you can use the VWAP as if it was a pivot. And have your stop loss if it breaks under. But usually I don't like to take trades in between zone. Now let's check the RTY, which is the Russells. Did I get right? No. Okay, let's check it out. They're all gapping up. Let's see. If I'm not mistaken, the Brussels was the lagger one, was the one that was not hitting all-time highs just yet. Yep. So the Russell's is approaching this very strong resistance pivot here. We can mark it as a zone. Let's mark a zone for this. We'll mark it right here. All right, so key resistance is going to be this 1596.30. And then we have this 99 to 1603. So this is entire, you can count this as entire zone here, a big zone. It also looks overextended. The problem is not being at the resistance only, it's being into the resistance overextended, which means we can pull back to a key support before we try to do another leg up. So something like this. Not saying it's gonna be this exactly, but this is what I'm talking about. Resistance, pull back, then push. Something like this. When something is overextended, reaching resistance, usually we have a little pullback before the big move, another big move. And the funny thing is that what happened, the pivot is right there at the top, which will be a back test to this breakout. So I will not be surprised if we have a pullback tomorrow. So we can have our key support right here, 1589, 60, 1591, and our key resistance is going to be this 1596.30, 1599, so almost 1600. All right. Let's keep moving. We have a lot of tickers today. Let's check big board's favorite, natural gas. So natural gas is popping up again, guys. Congratulations to everybody that loaded up at 12 on you guys. So with this gap up, ideally we want to see a hold of this 2.766 as support. Although if we come lower here, it wouldn't be not that bad. I would just prefer to have a here. But if we come back here, we just be back testing this breakout zone. So we just need to hold that for another leg up, just like the RTY we talked about. Checking. where this can hit its head. And right now it's hitting head at this intraday speed bump 280. See how you reject right there. So it needs to break and hold that. The next target will be right here, 2.843, 2.855. Now I just want to check if I can see anything down here. We do have some resistance here, which I'm going to mark right now. Let's borrow some pivots from ROKU. Don't worry, ROKU will be back to you later. You're definitely on the list. So which one I was gonna mark? Right here. Right there. Yeah, I like that one. 2 point. I like this one as well. Let me borrow another pivot. I need a light blue pivot. I believe this one here. And right there. And I'm gonna mark ahead of time this one here. So I don't need to go back. Let me move this one first. Come on. Let's grab this one. Yes, I am perfectionist. All right. So we are entering that zone right now. We actually reject off of it. Let's approach more so you can see right there. Yeah, and our next zone will be up here. But let's focus on this one first, right? So if we can't break and hold this one, where we're going to, we want to go here and hold, ideally on top of this, like I said, do something like, so we have this big gap up right here, this, and then something like this, get another leg up. Usually what happens is that we have a test of the top of the channel of the zone, come back down, test the bottom of the zone, and on a hold, we push to the next one. Usually that's what happens. Test the top, test the bottom. If we hold, we push through. If we lose this one, then we have right here. And this, I would say this would be the last line of defense, the 2.717. Guess that's it. Let's go to the next one. Let's check gold. Always starting from the higher time frame. Yeah, so gold is having some problems with this zone here, but oops, let's fix the chart real quick. All right. So it's having a problem with this zone, but as long as it holds the top of this lower zone, I'm happy with it. I even have marked before. This is important one. It's a very little zone, but it's an important zone to hold. If we can't hold this, I'm expecting a retest over here. 1505, 1506, and then 1502. Which the 1502 will be my last line of defense on this case. If we can break and hold, we're looking at high time frame at 1528, 1530. On the lower side, we already talk about that, the 1502, 1506, this will be last line of defense. Let's check oil. Always that zone, guys. It's always this zone. I keep saying that every week, but every week when we come and analyze, we always show some kind of impulsive move from this double big O zone right here. Now, when I say big O is the big orange, that's our most important pivot on the board. Just so you get familiar a little bit with how I call things. Now we push through here, we couldn't hold, we gap up above it, couldn't stay above it. Now we're testing this zone here. I would say the key support will be right here. Let me show you guys. This is the key support zone for the week, which is 1562, 1587. We're trying to hold that, but as we are now below this purple line, which is the second most important pivot on the board, we need to reclaim and hold above it, which is 15605. We don't want something like this to happen. Let me try to represent it. So we have the impulsive move, came back down, trying to hold here. Then we hit our head on this pivot and do that leg down. Leg down. Then we're going to test this. This is our last line of defense. We're going to go up here and then we have to reclaim it. Otherwise, what's going to happen? We're going to have another leg down. So it's the same thing when we do the upside. It's just backwards. Now, if we reclaim this, we need to break 5624. And after that, we can try to retest this 5679. What is the other one? 5704. Let's check. Okay, that's it for the futures. Let's start with the members' requests. First one is Nike. Nike. I really like this Friday when Q posted. I checked the chart and I really like this buy zone here. I don't know if you guys can see it. Right here will be our buy zone 88.12, 89.19. We have a midpoint at 88.73, which is a very important pivot as well. Now, I would not try to buy if you close up below, you can say 88 as the whole number. I will wait. If that happens, we can hold that. I'll be waiting that we are going to test this 86, 86.7, 87.10 zone. But this is where I am looking for a long entry on Nike. And see if we can break above this 90.28, 90.56 key resistance. And if we do that, most likely we're going to retest the 91.74. Let's mark it up right there. So on the way back up, that's going to be our key resistance. One thing to keep in mind is that this is trading below the weekly bullish bearish line. And we need to be careful. We probably want to take a partial on the way back up. That's also going to be in confluence with the 50-day moving average, which is at 89.80, which is the same level as the pivot. So we have to be careful there. Once it gets there, let's take a partial and see if we can do something like this. So push from here, test, and then we hold to go to here. All right. So I would not buy anywhere in between here. I will try to buy as far as I can from this pivot right here. Now let's check. Let me give you guys tomorrow's zone. So tomorrow's key resistance is going to be 89.53, 89, 89, 81. Right there. Right here. Now let's check DIS, which was a highly requested ticker. We have earnings on the 7th, which is Thursday after market close. All right, so let's check this out. I will be expecting a run into earnings only if we can break and hold above these pivots. This pivot zone right here, which is the, let me change the setting so I can give you numbers easily. Uh, 133.22, 133.59. That's gonna be our key resistance going into Monday. If we can break this, I'll be expecting most likely a test down here. So let's see here. If we can break this, what is going to happen for us? We're going to first test this previous close line at 132.74, and then we're going to test the main pivot zone for the week and the day, which is 131.43, 131.70, and the day is 132.02. So this is a big 60-cent zone. You can consider this an entire zone. Just have your levels in between so you know where to expect this week. If we break and hold this, we're gonna have 134.12. We're gonna have some here at 134.80. That's a speed bump, and the key resistance above that is gonna be right here at 135.20. 135, what is that? 46, 135.76. That's what we're expecting. If we break this, we're going to expect the 130.24. Let me mark again. 130.24. I can say 137, 136. This is the, you can say it's the last line of defense. Although I really consider this the last line of defense. So scratch that. This is my last line of defense, and this is like the bottom buy most likely. Like if it gets there, just keep your eyes very close for a setup to go long, because then we're gonna be on a very nice deep buy level. All right, so let's check. So the SPY This is the thing, the SPY I trade using the ES, which is the S&P futures. So most of my levels are there. But if you only want to use SPY, your most important line is right here, 305.69. Let's move this a little bit. And this pivots. Yeah, this kind of messed up the pivots a little bit. So we can do the weeklies on this one. You can have the 306.14 as your key support. If you break that, most likely we're going to test this 305.69 zone pivot line, which is in confluence with the daily pivot and the quarterly. Now above it we have 307.64, this 308.90, 308.17 zone right there. So I would advise to watch the ES to trade the SPY if you can. Let's check the SPX. So the SPX right here, the most important pivot on the week is 30.52.35. This is the key support for Monday. Last line of defense is here, 30.52. 30.61 is going to be the key support. Key resistance is going to be 30.81. And then 30.96, 31.06. Let's check StarBucks. So Starbucks is on a very interesting level. It's bearish on the week, so we may see a pullback to go back down. So this will be considered a key resistance. If we can't break this, we're gonna downtrend at least to here. Now there are two scenarios on this. If we gap up and we keep moving up and towards this zone, then we may have a nice short setup if we can't break above 85.19, and then we can try to go back here. We take a put or short, and then we take a partial here and see if we can get this one, take another partial and see if we can get more downside. This is a very strong support level, the zone here. So this is the other scenario. The other scenario is if we gap down and we are gapping down towards this zone here. Either gap down and have a strong sell at the open. I'll be watching for a deep buy in this zone here for retest first here, and if we can break and hold, then we're going to trail the way back up. So there are two things we can do here: short on a fail here, or long on an impulsive move to here that find bidders. So you guys can see that that's a very important zone from before. You had that. Let me show you here. Let me extend this so you guys can see what I'm seeing. Right there. See that? Push, came back test, came here, came down, hold it, test above it, and push. So that's definitely a zone I'm looking at. You can even, if you want to increase a little bit the zone towards, to include this here. which is going to give us another point of data in our case. All right, so just so you know, the most strong pivot of this zone is 81.86 and 81.73. Just so you know what you're dealing with during the trade. Once we break above this, we're looking at 85.71, 86.11 as our next resistance zone. You can include this 86.50 if you want to. ROKU. Oh, one sec. Let me just check the intraday. Yeah, so the intraday we are trading way below the daily. So we are bearish overall on this. Let's borrow a white pivot here from ROKU. Want to mark it up. Want to mark this one right there. So before we test this key resistance, we have this one first. So as you can see, there's a lot of overhead on this stock. Hence why we are a little bit bearish on it until we can get to this zone here. Now let's check ROKU. So ROKU has been playing around this 147.39 level for a while. Not this only time, but before as well. You guys can see right here. So I will say our most important zone for the upcoming week is right here. Oops. Trying to grab it. Yeah, that's fine. It's not too big of a zone. I hate big zones like this, but so we can break it down if you want to in two parts. But this is the most important zone on the week. The bottom is at 144.79 and the top is at 147.37, 147.78. This yellow pivot represents a bearish bullish sentiment for tomorrow. So that one is 146.20. If we can stay above it, we're retesting this top of the zone. If we stay below it, we're retesting the bottom of the zone. Now, from there, you need to see if bidders step up here and if sellers show up here. I would not mind a little pullback on ROKU, to be honest. It is doing another little this again. So that's something to keep in mind as well. If we can break and hold above this, we're probably going to retest this 153.19, 153.57, and then we had the 156.43. If we can't hold it, we're looking lower at 141.50, 141, and then 140, 137.04, 138.42. Now these I will consider kind of my last line of defense. I want to say the last line would be 133.53, but because this pivot represented a breakout, I would like it to hold over there as a back test to the breakout zone. Now BYND, So we have this little zone here. We close it above it. Interesting. So you can say our key resistance is going to be, I don't know if it's going to gap up or not, but as of right now, our key resistance is this 344.77. Checking 345, 345.19. And this will be the key support with the daily zone being in the last line of defense for this, which is 343.16, 343.29. So if we see a pushback down here, we may want to watch for a long position if we see bidders stacking up, or if you find your favorite reversal pattern, candlestick pattern, anything that you use, your indicators, just watch for them when you reach this zone here. Now, on the way back up, take a partial run around here because we can now have this as resistance. If we can push above this, we have 346.81, 347.09, and our SS zone is going to be 349.05, 350, 350.39. Now, I don't know if you guys remember, but that's where we rejected last week. I took a short on Boeing at 349.60, if I'm not mistaken. I didn't get all this. I cut it very quickly, but the entry was very nice. Just need to make sure to capture longer moves. It hit right there on the key support. Bounced many times, so you could have scalped this if you had the zone from that we had it, but that's not Friday. Okay. So that's it for Boeing. If we can't hold this, we're looking at 340.65, 341.87. Now, LOCO. So LOCO is approaching this key resistance, 84.20. Let me change again. Sorry guys, I keep moving the thing and right there. 84.20, 84.78 is going to be our key resistance zone right there. And our key support is going to be 82.71, 82.93. So if we go back down there, make sure to watch for a reversal. I am actually going to extend this zone to 82.33. So our key support zone is going to be 82.32, 82.71, 82.93. And that's the plan. It looks pretty solid. If we can come back down here, it has earnings. That's perfect. On the 6th, after market close, so that's on Wednesday. So we might see a run into earnings if we can break above this, and a sell into earnings if we break below this. Below that, we have 79.85, 78.79 zone, and above it, we have this 86.67. Let's mark that up. Right there. And then 88.31, 88.60, 89.11 zone. This is going to be something too, but let's see. 85.42. Right there. So you can count 85.23, 85.42 is your next little zone. And above it, we have that 86.65, 86.70. All right. Facebook. $194. And we have some interaction to this level before. Then we have this big zone here. So we had to be careful with a lower high in this situation. We're still doing higher lows. You guys can see it needs to hold this 190.04, 192.13 zone in order to keep doing those higher lows. And it needs to break above this 199.38, 199.83 zone to do a higher high. Now what we could see here is some sort of something like this. Come from here, test this zone, and come back down. Would be nice on the way back down to hold this 192.13 and then push leg up. Something like this. Now, if we can't hold this, our trend on the 4 hour is gonna change. Let's see. It is a weird trend. So you see it needs to hold that zone right there, roughly. Yeah. All right, that was it for Facebook. Let's check just real quick the intraday. So we're bullish on the week until we break below this 192.13. And so if we have a pullback to here, we may want to consider a buy long if we find if we find bidders around here. Now, if we push overextended to here, we may have a nice little short, at least a scalp to the bottom of the zone. Now, Tiffany. So Tiffany bounced off this pivot zone. right there. Next week's key zone is going to be oops, not that tool. It's going to be right here. It's going to be our key zone for the week. Which is going to be our last line of defense. So our key zone is 125.96, 126.21, 126.60. Last line of defense, 122.02, 123.75. And our key resistance is going to be a retest of that 130.44, 131.04 that couldn't hold when we had that big push. Right there. So that's what we're looking for on this. Square. Remember, we have been calling this key resistance from way down there. That's a very important level on Square. And still our key resistance. So on Square, our most important zone is going to be for the week is going to be the 62.34. And this is 62.36. So you can say 62.30s. So right there, sorry about that. It's like 11:30 p.m. here. So these are key zone for the week. We have earnings coming Wednesday after market close. So we need to hold this to see a run into earnings with first resistance at that zone where we talk about. Right there. And above that, we have some more overhead. So we really need we're going to really need some good earnings to push through this zone that it couldn't do it many times before. Now let's check the expected move on the Square. $5.10. So let's say $5. If we are trading into the big O by earnings, we'll be looking at the 68.53, 68.53 as the first target with an overshoot at the $70 mark, 70.71. If we miss on earnings, the first target will be down here, 59.67, 60.33. We can even say this 58.42. And we've overshoot at the 55.79. And if we can hold that, we're looking for 50, 47, 51, 58. So recapping, we want to hold above the 6230s for a run into earnings towards the big O, which is around 64. And if you can hold this, we're going to look for a sell into earnings towards the 61.20 and then the 59.67, the $60 mark. Now let's check URI. URI is on a rip. The approaching just, there's a lot of overhead around this area. Let's take this moment and mark some important pivots for the future. Change real quick. This is what we talked about last week, right here. I'm gonna try again. So let's mark this one real quick. All right. Let's mark a few more stuff. Okay, let's grab. Over here. This one. This one. And I like that one as well. Yeah, and I love MeteorS. Just marking a few more data points for us. So we are prepared. All right, this should be enough. Let's move back to the 4 hour. So we're testing the top of this pivot zone right here. 141.06, 142.01. On the break of that, the next zone will be 144.19, 145.21. Then oops, come on. Then the 146.49, 147.11. So from here to here, the range is not amazing, like from here to here, but it's still a nice range. The break of that, we're gonna be looking at our most important resistance, which is 149.01, 150.32. Now, if we can't break this, I'm expecting a pullback to 137.96, 138.40, 139.50, and it needs to hold this for another leg up. If we can't hold that, most likely testing 135. 35s, I would say. Let me borrow another pivot real quick, just for the way back down in case it comes back down. Right, oops, not that one. Right there. Just marking our zones. All right. Let's check intraday real quick before we move to the next ticker. All right, so you see the top of the zone, this key zone we talk about, the pullback, it's in confluence with our daily main zone for Monday. So definitely something you want to keep your eye on it in case we go there. My gosh, TOS is having his revenge on me. Okay, there you go. So 139.35, 139.50, 139.73 is going to be our first dip buy level. Watch for this in case we go here for an opportunity to run into here and then maybe more. If we can't hold that, we're going to be looking at our last line of defense, 137.96, 138.40, right there. So either here or here, you can look into the buy. If you want to take a start at here and see if it holds, once it breaks above and holds, we can add more. And if it goes back down here, you can add some if you prefer and cut your losses if it doesn't hold. Remember, you can always re-enter, so that it's not worth to hold the bag. For longs, the ideal setup is a retest of here. Now, if tomorrow we overextend to this zone here, we'll most likely be looking to find a short position. Now let's check OJO. I never heard about that one before. Well, it looks like it's not a ticker. So if you are the member that requests that, please let me know and I'll post the levels for you in the chat room. So CAT. Yeah, I think I already talked about this in the chat room. I think it's overextended and it needs a pullback. I'm looking for a pullback and towards 140.70, 141.83, which is the zone right here. would be ideal before it tries to move more. It is approaching this zone here, 145.19, 146.58, 147.20. So you have a lot of ahead from here. You have this, and then you have the 149.02. So if we get into the top of the zone, I'll be looking for pullback over here, 143.34, 38. If we lose this, then like I said, we're expecting the 140s, low 140s. Let me mark this pivot right here. So if you're watching the stream and you know how to fix this, please post in the comments below. Thanks, guys. Charts. What I was gonna do? Oh yeah, I was gonna grab a pivot, which I already did. Yeah, I was gonna mark this zone here. Lost my train of thought for a little bit. Grabbing this one. So below that, we're looking at 138.72, 139.44, and finally a retest or big O at 137.46. For longs, the ultimate target is to reach 149 or 150. If we can break, we have to remember it's like an elevator analogy. You need to go to the next level in order to go to the higher level, right? So if you're on the first floor, you need to reach first the second floor in order to get to the third floor. If you can't get to the second floor, then you're most likely not gonna go. You're gonna go to the how they call the -1. I don't know how you call it in the US, but it's like the, let's say the garage floor, right before the one. So let's check W. So W had a bad earnings. Trading now below big O. All bad for you. All right, let's mark some pivots down here. I need a purple. I need to mark this one here. Let's mark that one down there. So this is going to be our key resistance coming into the week. So I have marked this before. Borrow again. 1 second. Come on, hand. There you go. So our key resistance zone for the week is going to be 85.77, 86.82, and 809 cluster right here. I would definitely not be surprised if we do something like this and then test 75.82. Let's see if we have anything down there. 75.59. So yeah, 75, 75, 82. Mark this one. Let's check the 5 years, see if I can see anything more consistent. Okay, let's mark this. Let's mark this one. And I wanted to mark this one as well. What was that ticker? It was oil, I think. They had the pivot I want. Oh, this is gold. Mark that. And all right, let's mark one more pivot and then we move on that. Let's see if ROKU has what I want. Nope. AMRN. Also no. Okay, I'll grab this one, it's fine. I really like to know the weight of the pivots. Is a cat? Yeah, it's cat that has the pivot I want. Now I'm happy. I'm marking this little zone here, little but important. The last pivot mark is going to be that one. Just because we base it on it many times. Okay, that's enough. We don't want it to be too confusing. So here's why I bounced. That's why. Now we're looking for to push to here. If we can't hold, we're gonna go back down, retest this one, and if we can hold, we're gonna retest the 75.82, 77.31. Now, if we can break and hold, I will definitely be looking for a short position if we can push to here, 93.84, 94.64. Now remember, we don't need to wait to short over there. We can always go long if we hold support, right? So if we push and hold, so let's say we push here, come back down, test the bottom of the zone, hold the support. You enter long here, stop loss right below it. Don't let it go too much because this can happen. And you can try to go up there. Take a partial at the top of the zone or in the middle if you want to. Depends on what is your size, position size, what is your plan, and another partial at 91.10, and then finally the main target, which is 93.84, 94.64. Let's check SCOR. Interesting. If we can hold this support here, oh, this also has earnings on the 5th, so Tuesday after market close. Right now it's trading in the zone right here. We need to push above it to have a bigger range towards $3. If we can hold, we have our last line of defense, which is going to be 2.37. So if we do something like this, can't hold, it needs to hold this bottom here and then try to push towards the $3 mark. If we break $3, we're looking for 320, 327, 341, then 361, 373. If we can hold this, we'll be looking for 205, 217, which it could be a nice dip buy if it holds. Now expecting a run if we, like I said, can hold above it. And yeah, the chart doesn't look bad at all. Just play the zones, make sure it holds, and then it can go. So you can extend a little bit this to 247 to accommodate the daily 2.47. So that would be the plan for SCOR, AVGO. So we're approaching an overhead area. Let's mark it up. Come on, there you go. Let's mark it up. Marking our pivots. Yeah, we don't need this one because that one is right there. Get a baby blue one. Right, so our key support is going to be 293.23, 294.75. It needs to break this 297.32 for upside. Trying to find a zone for you because I know we like to have some wiggle room. Let's go back to ROKU. This is going to be too small. Let's see if we can find a hint intraday. All right, so you can have this 297.32, 298.53 as your key resistance. And if we break that, we're going to have that 300 mark, which is going to be rough. It's going to be rough right there. Above that, we're looking at 302.10, 21, 30, 303.30. Now, if we lose this, then I'll be expecting a pullback to the 289, 289s, 290, low 290s. That was it for the members picks. Now there are some tickers that I am also watching. I watch ROKU. That's a must for me. I trade it almost every day because I like it how it trades. So Nike I'm watching also. I really like Nike and other ones as well, but those are, I really like those. Cats I like shorts too at some point. I'm watching for that, waiting for it. So let's start the other ones that I think it'd be important for us to check, like BYND. So we are open the week bearish on the week. We are only bullish if we break above $90, which is also those highs over here. So that's going to be a confluence. It's going to be a very strong resistance. The immediate resistance is 84.80. And we need also to break above the daily. We're bearish on the daily until we break and hold above 83.04, 83.17. This is going to be our next key resistance right there. Key support is going to be this zone here. I also want to mark that other pivot. All right, so this is our cluster support. 77.87, 789, 67, 79, 62. Once we break below that, we'll be looking pivot wise 69, 88, 71, 05. We have some price action right here that we can't ignore. So also keep an eye on this 74.30, 75.55. I'll mark with the light gray, which is the pivots based on price action. If I can pick the tool that should be used to mark. I'll just mark this tight. 75, 52, 74, 11. Now those are not the pivots. So let's see if we have a pivot that can help around the area. Okay, so I will just use the 75, 52, 76, 12 as your next target. And below that we have that 74, 11, then 7201, 7266, and the pivot, the SS zone at 69.88, 7105. If we manage to break above the 84.80, there's a lot of speed bumps in between, like 86.50, 87.71, and that SS zone 89.96, 90.09, 90.47. Break above that, we have 93.40, 96.88, 97.62, which is another SS zone right there. So we have a lot of zones of up and down for you guys. McDonald's. So McDonald's had bad news today. The CEO stepped down because let me find it. Basically he was having a relationship with an employee, which is not allowed. So we're looking for a downside on McDonald's tomorrow based on news. Now, if we gap down towards here, I would prefer to have a squeeze at the open if I can, because I don't like to short at the resistance at the support zone. So if we could have something like this, would be ideal. Something like this would be ideal for me. If we don't have a first reaction to the news and we push through this and get over here on the top, I'm definitely going to look for a short setup for it to go lower. First partial needs to be here at 193.58, 194.48, and then see if we can ride it lower. Now, even though the news is bad, just be careful if we gap down violently to here. It may be bought up. This is a long-term trend line and also a pivot zone right here. The goal is to get there if we get a nice spot to short. Ideally, that's the goal. Yeah, so I like that plan. UAA also had bad news today. I kind of forgot what is the news. Let me check real quick in the chat room. Where did I saw that? Right here. Under Armour is the subject of criminal and civil securities fraud probes from the Justice Department and the SEC over its accounting practice. So that's very bad news. And we are looking for a short as well on that. We're going to have a cluster support. Let me check another ticker. We're going to have a cluster support that we're going to mark right now. Here. Come on. So this 1980, 20, and 2027 zone is a very important support zone for this. If we can hold that, we're looking into 1838, a 1748 zone for a target. Now, let me mark one more thing here. All right, so that's going to be, we're trading above it, but most likely we're going to gap down. But if we didn't have news, that was going to be our key support. 2084, 21. So why am I bringing up if I'm thinking it's going to gap down? Because now that become very important resistance. So if we gap down around here, when we have a push or squeeze into open, look for a short setup right around there. Let's move this a little bit this way so I can see it on this day. And we can even add a little bit just to include our daily. So that would be our key zone for tomorrow. Key support, if we break this, we're looking at 1748 and 1838 as targets. First targets. We'll have to see how it reacts. Maybe we go even lower. We'll see. Just play the levels, take your partials, and don't be greedy. Now, UNH. So we have a couple of very important zones here. We have this one, and we have this one. So our key support is going to be 251.15, 252.93, right here. We're going to make it even a little bit wider, so it includes our most important level of the week. So we need to break and hold above 240, 252.93 for a retest over here. Okay, I see you. I see you, buddy, right there. So let's divide this into, oops, key support at 251.15 to 51.42. Key resistance 252.93, 252.97, 253.39 cluster. Right there, break and hold above it. We test this level here, 254.98. If we can't hold this, we're looking into this 248.51, 249.80, 249.48, and 250. Good Lord, come on. Okay, I'm almost giving up of this. Come on, you can do it. Okay, got it. 250.12. So 250. Just like to know the numbers exactly because the algos institution, they don't round it up. They just grab the exact number. So I like to do the same. So key resistance right there. 250, 253.57 right there. Daily, the daily zone. And key support right here. Now STNE. We're approaching this very important zone. Let's borrow again. Right there. So that's our resistance zone. Right there. So we rejected first. Here we go again. My bad, guys. Let's change this back. Just like space. That's all. So our key resistance level right now is 3780. Is very important for this to hold above it for a push to this 3872, 3881. So this is the next zone right there. So you need to hold this. If we can't, we're gonna back test this 3685, and that needs to hold. That would be our last line of defense for the week. You could even debate to put it your stops right here, but I don't like when it breaks my pivots. I prefer to cut it and then re-enter if we reclaim. So let's see where we can go. Let's mark some stuff here for us to trade. White pivots. We'll be looking at that. You can call this last line of defense if you want to. 3581, 3633. So ideally, we see a pullback, and if we bulls are in control still, we can see a bounce right here and then a push to here. But this is going to be the rough one. If we can manage to break and hold this, 39.45, 40.14 will be the next. The dailies at 37.48, so right around here, right? So remember, bullish, bearish on the day, bullish, bearish. If we lose this, we're gonna go here 36.85. We need to hold that, and then we can try to get a retest. The 37.10s, 37 may be a problem on the way back up, but you have a good entry. You can take a partial and then trail. Now LOCO, I'll put your LOCO. So our key support, it's going to be 1438, 1454, 1464, 72. So it's a 30 cent, maybe a little bit less. Key support zone right here. Last line of defense, 1384, 1394, 1372. Big O is at 1372. Let's mark our big O, 1372, right there. So that's our last line of defense. Below that, we have 1307, 1328. If we can manage to stay above this on a dip, we're looking as key resistance 1531, 1542, and then we have 1570, 1607. We could even include the 1637, but remembering that the strongest part of the zone is going to be the lower part of the zone. You can see why. You can see why. Let me mark this so you can see why it rejected there. I don't know. Right there. How perfect was that? So we know we need to break above that, and we have, so our zone changed a little bit. That would be our line in sent to the upside, and then a support right key zone right there above it. Now I am more leaning towards dividing this by 2, having here, and then having top of it. It's gonna be like a zone on top of zone, but it gives you a little more visual of how we can trade this. If we break above that, we're looking at that 16 like we talked about. And it's gonna be a rough one. 1673, right around here. So we may hit 17 and fail and go back down if we can't hold that 1673, 73, yeah. All right, let's check RETA, R-E-T-A, or RETA. This thing has been on a tier. Now, if we're still bullish on this, I'll be waiting for a pullback to enter first. Ideally at this 201.49, 203.20. Right there. Uh, the next key zone, resistance zone, is going to be, let's mark it up. Not that one though. We don't want to misinterpret the weight of the pivot. So let's make sure to put the right color. All right. So our next zone will be 216.89 to 1908. If we get overextended to that zone, you maybe want to look into a short position. Just keep it tight because this thing can run for days and it has been running for days. So if from here we pull back, watch here for to hold support, and then we push down there, up there, if we can break the previous high. But from here to here is like 8 points almost. So not bad trade. Take a partial. Don't need to wait for the top. Take a partial. Take a partial on the strength. And if we can break it, we may looking at that 219. Now, if we go straight to there tomorrow, in a very violent way, then I'm looking for a short position, short first to this 209, and then try to grab it to 201 and see if we can get more from there. Just keep taking your partials, and your stop loss, always keep it tight, because that will minimize your losses and maximize your wins. That's why we always try to trade when we are in the pivot zone, so we have a great risk-reward ratio. Oops. So tomorrow's day pivot is at 208. So if you're looking for this pullback, if we break below that, you can find a good entry around there to write it down. So that could be also a short option if you want to. Yeah, so I guess that's the plan. If we hold here and on the pullback, then we may see this push here that we talk about on the plan B. ABBV. Let's mark that up. That's okay. Oh, what's cat? Then I have that double pivot zone. Here we go. All right. Let's mark this one up. I really need a precision mouse because this is bothering me a little bit. Just a little. Right there. Almost done, guys. Just have to make sure we are very detail oriented so we don't get lazy and don't mark important stuff. Like this, for example, where we bounce right off of it. So if we keep holding this, we may push. Just thinking. Okay, so our key support is going to be this 81.46. We wanted to keep holding it, so we keep doing these higher lows. If we lose that, our last line of defense is going to be 80.94, 81.02, which is definitely to look to buy if it goes there. Just wait for the setup. Just because it's there doesn't mean it's going to bounce, right? So wait for your signs. Then we take a partial 81.46 and then try to trail up. If we can't hold the 81.46, the next level is going to be 82.37, and the next SS zone is going to be 82.89, 83.29, right there. Below it, we have this 80.55 and the 80.14, which is our last line of defense. Do I have the blue? I think so, but let's make sure. Come on. So our last line of defense is going to be 79.96, 80.14. IMGN, we only have 3 more left. That is a weird candle. So this is the key resistance, 308, 319. Then we have 334, 343. You guys can see my hand is not steady today. Uh, 334, 334, 342. So the range is a little bit small until we break above this. It's not that bad for the side of the stock, but then we're gonna have the 369. , 385, 396. If we can break this, we're looking for a pullback towards 283, 286. This is where the bulls want to make sure to buy it up. 273, 273, 264 will be our last line of defense. But if we bounce from there, remember there's going to be resistance. So take your partials here and see if we manage to break above it. All right. XNET. So key support going to be 580, 596. 580, 584, 596. The first resistance is going to be that high. So what is it? 628, 645. And above that, we're looking at 677, $7, 731, 749. And then 814, 833. If we don't hold this, we're looking for a dip to 538, 550, then 517. And 476, 482. Trading above the key zone for the week, so we're still bullish until we are above it. SRPT. So we have earnings upcoming 7th. After market close, the 7th is Thursday. So we are testing actually this very important zone that we had before. And see it couldn't break once, twice, 3 times, and now we have the 4th try. What we need to happen here is a push to the top of the zone. If we can't break right away, a pullback and hold of the bottom of the zone, and then push. Something like this. Right there. Boom. Not that one. Focus. Right there. Oops. Spoke too soon. You guys must be laughing already. My goodness. Can't have my hand. Okay. So 94, 93 will be the next target if we can hold above this 90.26, and then 98, 97.7, 98.01. This would be a speed bump. Probably to cause that pullback to retest the top of the zone. So that's what we're looking for on SRPT. It's looking very strong. It closed very strong. If we pull back, we wanted to hold either ideally above 87.23, but if we break that, we still have our last line of defense, 86.23. You can mark this as your last line of defense. 85.51, 86.23. Ideally, we want to hold above this, but not big deal if we can still hold above the 86.23. Okay, I think that's it. Let me check. Let me see if anybody on YouTube requested anything on the previous video. Nope. Okay, so we're clear there. And that's about it, guys. I hope you enjoyed. Please subscribe to the channel and hit the like button, please. And if you have any questions, you want to see how we trade on a live commentary throughout the day, join the chat room, and I'll see you inside for pre-market trading starting at 7 a.m. Eastern time. Now, don't forget that we had daylight savings. So we are opening, like, what for you guys was 1 hour backwards, right? So we are opening a little bit earlier. Don't miss it. Okay, talk to you tomorrow. Take care.